Philadelphia. I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show.
Live from the Xfinity studio. Good morning, especially good morning to the Fly guys. Ow! What a night last night up in Jersey. Oh my, what a night. Came out buzzing. Devils came back a little bit, and the Flyers stamping out. Second period. Boom, boom. 4-1. Oh, what a night. What a night. Fly guys are hot. The Flyers on fire. What an awesome ride this has been. A great surprise of a ride, and it's just been fantastic. Like, they're must-see TV. It's great. Like, I can't wait for puck drop every time they play. Can't wait for it. And last night, Zegras, man. Let's go back. Let's go back to Danny Briere and some of the heat that Danny took. And again, that was the two biggest moves, Zegras and Vladar. Vladar, again, was ridiculous. He's so good, man. He's just underrated. But Zegras comes out. He's unbelievable. Having that line with Foerster and Tippett was terrific. Then the power play goal. How about Porter's feed to Zegras to set that up was special. Martone, Miskov played well. Look at this. Look at this. This team is just rolling. They're just rolling. And it's amazing because you start to think, you go, well, you know, the way they're playing, I mean, who knows, right? Like, I think they beat the Penguins in the first round. If it stays this way and they're in and they play Pittsburgh, I think they can beat Pittsburgh, man. Let's go. They might put up 5 goals a night against the Penguins. The way this offense is clicking, they just look. It's amazing when you add Martone and Foerster. Just that. I mean, listen. Foerster is a sniper, and Martone's just a great player. Just youth doesn't matter. Just a great player. And all those young kids that you see, we just saw one, Schaefer with the Islanders, the defenseman. You see it with a guy like Martone who just comes in and just elevates everybody. And all of a sudden, that line, you got Miskov is now, playing well. Like it's that whole thing about the rising tides lift all boats. I mean, they got confidence and they're young and they buzz. That's the thing that this whole season, my expectations were muted. I just wanted to have a fun season, kind of arc towards the future. And what has missed, and this is what you see when you add talent, right? When you add real talent like Martone and Foerster, you see them, they buzz. And there's nothing better because they hadn't done that offensively, right? Like they weren't a team that was a buzzing team. Now with those two guys in the lineup, they just buzz, man. They have those stretches where they're in the zone and they just fire away. It's just incredible stuff. It's so much fun. I just freaking love it. Boucher coming up in about 15 minutes. We'll talk to Boucher. Cannot wait for that. I heard him last night. Like I love Boucher on the broadcast. He's so good. TNT and of course our home broadcast. And you can hear it in his voice. He's excited. He's got the whole town just fired up, man. It's great hockey. Great hockey. And it's perfect time, man. And if you think about it, I'm not saying cup run, but, you think about Boucher, I think about 2010, and then what happens when a team gets hot. Hey, I'll take playoffs, and I may get greedy looking for a first-round win. I'm kind of feeling that way. Fun. Can't wait for Thursday night in Detroit. I wish they were playing tonight. Every night is an event. I was at practice last night. Yeah, baseball. And the guys, TV Todd, VG, Danny D, there's a whole hockey thread going on. And they're just firing back and forth, Tooch firing, like, look at this, look at that. And I'm on my phone trying to get a signal because we play this field that there's no cell services, like, feel like the Field of Dreams, like I'm in Iowa. And I'm like, what's going on? Oh my God. Rushed home, put the game on. Just great stuff. Great stuff. It really is a lot of fun. I'm happy. I'm happy for Talk. I'm happy for Danny and Jonesy and the whole crowd because, look, this is what they were tasked to do. And they went from people thought they were behind schedule, and now they're ahead of schedule, just like that, with those two guys coming into the lineup. So we'll talk all about it with Boucher today. A lot of fun. Franny Films will join us. So we'll talk to Fran on the pathway to the draft. We'll get into that a little bit. When we talk of football, it's hard not to talk about Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel.
Hey, now.
I know my man over here can't get enough of that story. And A.J. Brown. Also, and Phil's last night, Sanchez did not have command again. She hit too much of the plate, gave up 11 hits last night. Second straight start where he was mediocre at best. It was able to kind of keep the Avalanche from coming, kept them in the game, but not vintage Sanchez for sure. Phil's go down 6-0, and that house of horrors continues. Got to win today to win a series out there. It's been forever since they won a series in San Francisco. So we'll get into a little fight in Phillies. But to me, the whole story, plus we have Ben, our social media man, who's a golf, he's a big golf guy. And so Ben will give us his Masters picks because the Masters tees off tomorrow. So we'll get you some Masters picks for today. So plenty to do, as always, on this Wednesday. Good morning, VG.
Good morning. Except for this weather. Feels like January. But, man, odds for the playoffs now, 70.3%. Dude, when is the last time? I mean, I just don't remember. There's so much, like, actual skill. Like, finesse.
Yes.
Good hands.
Yeah.
Not just, like, dumping chase.
Well, it's, we had that with Michkov last year, like one player.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, adding Zegras, right?
He's so skilled.
Was unbelievable. Like, you think about that because he's been here all year now. Yeah. Other than that little kind of period where everybody kind of slumped, he's ridiculous, man. That was such a great trade. So you have him, and then you add, now you're rolling 3 lines, like 3 legitimate lines.
They came out buzzing. Got the second goal. Then they settled in. Jersey took over a little bit.
Yeah, the second half.
Once they escaped that first period, it was like, all right, they regrouped.
Well, that was the thing about, and this is what I want to talk to Boucher about too. Jersey takes over. After the 2 goals, settles down. The back half of the period was all Jersey. I mean, they were flying.
Yeah.
Right? And, Jack was out of his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Jack's a player.
Oh, yeah.
Jack Hughes is ridiculous.
Every time he's on the ice, you think there's going to be.
I know.
There seems to be traffic and a commotion happening.
Right. So he's flying, and you go, all right. Settle in, fellas, settle in. And then they came out in the second period like they did the first period, and they took control of the game.
Yes, they did. Great defensively, too, in the third period. Blocks, dude. 15 blocks to 3. I mean, it's just. They interviewed Zegras after the game. He's so happy to be here. Says he's never had this much fun in a locker room with everything going on. They got so much chemistry going. It just feels fun. And I went between local broadcast and Nationals. I like to check in and see what the Nationals are saying. And they're giving you oh, man, the Flyers are a team you do not want to see in the playoffs right now. Yeah. The Flyers are hot, and it's not fluke. This is not a fluke. Over the last 5-6 weeks, they're one of the 3-4 best teams in hockey.
Yes.
And then if you are one of the 3 or 4 teams best hockey over the last 4 or 5 weeks, and you add Foerster and Martone to that,
well, that's it. I mean,
it's going to be fun.
Well, I turned it over. I go with Boucher.
Yeah.
Boucher and I go way back from when he was just a kid out of Woonsocket
Mm-hmm.
And so I follow him. But then after the game was over, I went and watched a little Utah Oil.
Oh.
So I like Steve Levy.
Yeah.
I'm a TNT man.
Mm-hmm.
I love the TNT broadcast, but I do like Steve Levy. So I went over to ESPN after to watch. Then I was going back and forth between Edmonton, Utah, and Phillies. Phillies was just a slog, though. It was one of those nights where I was like,
horrible defensive game for the Phils last year.
Your boy, get him out of the outfield.
Here's the thing, like
he's terrible.
They talked all off season like he was like why was he locked in as an out? He's not an outfielder. He's a third baseman, first baseman. And what was he?
DH.
Why was he locked in as like this stud outfielder they're gonna have?
He's like that big giant glove the Brewers have. He needs that. He needs that. He's horrible.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
God forbid.
Crawford, he had
that's
a couple.
A John Browski thing. Like,
it makes no sense.
Dude, like you got the back end of this roster is horrible.
I agree, man.
Dylan Moore. That's
he's a very versatile guy. He plays everywhere.
Yeah,
anything you want, wherever you want him.
He doesn't hit weight. He's
I'm sending you videos of a 4-year-old hitting better than Dylan Moore.
Yes, I'll put Moss up against Dylan Moore.
Crawford had some flubs in the outfield. He was a little lazy on the one catch, so the dude tagged up. Just growing pains. It's just one of those games. Sanchez was off.
But Sanchez, though,
it's a bad lineup.
It was a bad lineup, but two lefties, man.
Oh,
the thing is the killer is those lefties bury you.
They're the worst in baseball so far this year against lefties.
Well, and they've been that way.
Yeah.
They're just not good because we've been screaming forever that they're too lefty dominant, and you need a right-handed bat. Like think about it. All your best players, Schwarber, Harper, Stott, Marsh, Crawford, all left-handed.
Yeah. And you
got dud bats on the right side, except for Garcia.
Garcia's going to be okay. He can't play in this weather. He just looks so miserable cold.
But, JT's not going to give you from the right side. No. It is what it is. And then you got another right-handed bats. Like, we've been screaming forever. I mean, this is 3 seasons of screaming for right-handed power.
You got to scream louder. He can't hear you on the yacht in the middle of the ocean. I'm a big Otto guy in theory.
I don't know why.
Yeah, he's a good story. Nice guy off the bench. He should not be a regular platoon player. And it's total malfeasance on Dombrowski by going into this. We're not finding some kind of better story. I just like him. All right.
It's not a good story.
I like the slogan they got going, get in the zone, Otto zone. I just like him. Like Otto Kemp. I don't know. I like him.
Stinks.
You just like people. Now the stuff is going, I got to find another stinko to latch on to. So it's going to be Otto.
You rip Harper and you like Scrubs.
I don't understand.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Dude.
I like talent.
How about, first of all, Kirkering comes in. They mentioned, do we need to re-flash back to that last play of him? No. But then the baseball gods, the first ball put in play is like the exact same play. Right to him, and he's so hesitant going to it.
I know, dude. How crazy.
I got it.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
Like, it's the universe. Universe is crazy.
Dude, it's like the exact same play.
Not bleep with the universe, man.
No, it's for real.
Mess with it, man. You don't want to mess with the universe. I felt bad for it.
But I think he's going to be on the other side. He had the exact same play happen.
Yeah, it's good.
He got pounded around a little bit with some bats. Yeah. They let him go through it. He's going to be fine.
The only thing that concerns me, again, is they're so vulnerable to left-handed pitching. That's what scares me.
Yeah, and this will be...
Like, they're going to win a ton of games, but they're going to face a ton of lefties. And, until he gets a right-handed bat, I don't know, that's going to scare me.
And it's going to be the second or third year now where we're going to hope for a bat at the trade deadline. Third year. So this is why people are a little frustrated going into this. We're like, running it back.
That's your boy.
Because they know what's going to happen.
That's your friend.
I know.
Your yacht's buddy.
I know. He got pitcher blinded, and for some reason, he's got astigmatism with a right-handed bat.
Anyway, lots to get to. I know you were all over the Diana Rossini Vrabel story.
Yeah, I mean, salacious out there. Like, what's going on? Now, so here's the thing. People were saying, oh, she makes up that. I think, like, hey, this is nothing to see here. Just platonic hanging out with my buddy. Probably, I think Vrabel's been telling her the whole time, we're getting AJ. It's just going to happen at some point. I think that's why she's been all over this AJ story. I think
Well, we'll find out.
We know she's got a source.
Right? We'll find out. All right, lots to get to. I cannot wait to talk some Flyers with Boucher. That's coming up next. First, a word from our friends. Hey, listen, BetParks app's got you covered for the golf's biggest weekend of the year, tees off in Augusta. Yeah, the only major golf event played at the same venue every year, the 90th edition of the Masters. That's right. Bet individual golf performances, bet in matches, top 5 finishes. It's time to play. Make your downside fun time on the BetParks online casino and sportsbook app. The only online sportsbook that I recommend is the BetParks Sportsbook app, where there's always another way to win. Right now, new casino users get 250 bonus spins on the hot online slot game Gold Trio Leprechaun's Luck, plus up to $1,000 casino bonus back in the first 24 hours. Play all your favorite casino games, all the sports you want, baseball, hockey, basketball, all that stuff right there on your phone. Hundreds of slot games as well. Always another way to win. You got to be 21. BetParks.com has all your details. You got to be in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Look, you want Jalen Carter out catching passes? No. All right? Come on now. Not worth the risk, the time, the money. Keep your stars focused on doing what they do best. Same goes for your business. You don't want your top people buried in operations, tedious, time-consuming, redundant activities that wear them down. Togo can help any business look to reduce operating costs, from customer service and accounting to order management, logistics, admin, data entry, even complex multi-step operational processes. We take it off your plate. Every Togo program includes dedicated staff, custom automations, US-based process engineers who act as your quarterback, giving you complete control, total transparency, and instant efficiency. At Togo, they turn your playbook into performance. You call the plays, we execute. HarnessTogo.com. Scale smarter, work faster, stay focused on winning. All right, now, Wawa, big deal. We go to our man on the call last night. You can't help but be all flyered up. This is the greatest. That's the Wawa big deal. Flyers. And joining us on the Xfinity mobile call-in line, Boucher. Legs and
Good morning,
lungs,
guys.
Boucher. Legs and lungs.
Legs and lungs. I'm feeling them too. Trust me. I've been feeling them for 20 years.
Dude, first of all, this is just the best, man. There's having them back is like an old friend. It's like, oh, this is great. Hockey's back.
Yeah, it's been a long time, hasn't it? And I get it. Philly's a great sports town. And when I say sports, it's multiple sports. I mean, it's multiple teams, and the fans rally around certain teams at certain times a year. And for the Flyers, it's always been springtime. At least when I was there, it felt like it was an annual thing where every spring, it was a hockey town. And I think when you're not doing well, it's understandable that there's not going to be that same juice, that same excitement. But seeing the fact that they've kind of played themselves back into this thing and they're starting to drum up some real interest around town, it's great to see people in the city wearing Flyers sweatshirts and jerseys. You get that feeling of what it was years ago. And I think for these players, they're feeding off of it. It's a great feeling as a player to feel that support from the fans and feel how people are fired up. I mean, you kind of, that energy carries you through every day, even on the off days. So hopefully the players can keep doing their job and the fans keep bringing it. It's a fun ride right now.
Well, and then here you have this season's been weird, right? Because you start out, you're playing well. Vladar looks great. You had Dimitrov stuff. They had a little bit of that funk. And people started getting disgruntled. And then they start playing better. And Martone and Foerster come in. And it's just been wild. Like when you add the level of that talent and the kid, I mean, Boucher, everybody thought the kid was good, but not like this.
Yeah, a lot of things to unpack there. I mean, I think the Olympic break came at the right time where guys needed a rest. I think there were some guys that were tired, some guys that, aren't the biggest of guys that were playing a lot of hockey. Guys, I think about guys like York and Drysdale. They were spending a lot of time in their own zone. It was getting hard for them. And I think that break, that break came at the right time. And they were kind of able to kind of decompress, take a breath, get back to work, get back to the drawing board. They made some changes to their neutral zone and D zone play. And I think it's helped those guys, and they've been energetic. And I think they took that underdog mentality where everybody was kind of writing them off. There was a lot of negativity around the fan base with this group and with management, the direction they're going. Yet internally, those guys were all steadfast in their belief in one another. And I think, Danny Briere and the player development staff knew what they had in Porter Martone. And until he arrives, you're not really sure how he's
Right.
gonna react to pro hockey. But 25 goals as a true freshman in college is it's no easy task. It's not a given that you're going to be able to do that. So what he did at Michigan State was remarkable. He worked hard. He put on weight, put on muscle. When most freshmen would probably go to college and put on fat and enjoy themselves, eat pizza, drink beer, and have a good time, the kid put in the work and proving that he's ready to be an NHLer. And he's done a terrific job. And then you add that with the addition of Foerster coming back early. And the only reason why he came back early is because the team is in the hunt. If this team was not in the hunt, he would not be back in the lineup. I asked him if he would be going to the World Championships if they were out of it, and he said no. He had no plans to go to the World Championships if the Flyers were not in it. So credit to the team to stay in the hunt, stay relevant. Credit to Foerster to put the work in to come back and get back here early and do a job. And here we are. Things are kind of all aligning beautifully. Still a lot of work to do with 4 games. I mean, a lot can change, but they control their own destiny.
Let's kind of look at now when you add those two into the lineup, you roll 3 lines. You got to give Couturier a lot of credit because he's taking his new role like a champ, and he goes down and he's hitting, he's physical, and I really respect kind of his mindset taking that this new role. He's embraced it.
It's captain stuff right there, right? I think I don't know if he wants to admit, but I mean, like it's hard to be a 20-minute guy every night in the NHL with the assignments that Couturier would be asked to have. And he's taken a lesser role. I mean, I think 2 games ago he played 21 minutes, but then there was a 13-minute, a 14. So, I think they want him to be around 15 minutes. And I think at 15 minutes, at his age, he can play that game that you talked about, that physical game where the fourth line is not expected to go out there and produce offensively, but they're expected to go out there and maybe change momentum in a game and have an identity, win a shift. If you win the shift, then you set up the next line that comes over the boards. And then in addition to all that, I mean, the penalty killing is huge. I think he and Glendening have been very good on the penalty kill. They're good on faceoffs. Each guy can take a faceoff on, Couturier on the left side and Glendening on the right side, which is huge. I mean, you win a faceoff on the penalty kill, get a clear, it takes 15, 20 seconds off. So, yeah, it's captain stuff. I mean, a lot of guys wouldn't do it to check your ego at the door and take a lesser role, but for the benefit of the group, Couturier has done that, and it's proven to be a nice thing.
So who's the kid remind you of? Brady Tkachuk? Who's the kid remind you of? Like the kid, you can't take your eyes off him. He has such strong hands. His instincts to shoot. The feed he gives to Zegras was terrific last night. I mean, my God, who's you remind you of? You see everybody in this league.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about it with Keith Jones, and he and Rick Tockett's talked about it. He's mentioned Corey Perry.
Yeah,
and not Corey Perry today. Corey Perry when he was scoring 50 goals in Anaheim, right? When he first came into the league. If you think about that Anaheim team when him and Ryan Getzlaf came into the league, they had some veterans on that team, but those kids came in and really were difference makers right from the hop. And I can't not help but think, Corey Perry, it looks like to me, but the Corey Perry of years ago. Corey Perry's still a very good player, but he was an excellent player. when he first came into the league. And I think, I think Martone, if you watch him after whistles, he's got this knack to kind of go in there and give a guy a bump and be a little bit of a rat where,
Yeah.
you get underneath people's skin. And I think that's a real good quality to have. To me, that's like knowing the game inside the game. And how many 19-year-olds know how to do that? And most people are just out there trying to survive. Like, oh my God, what do I do here? Do I get it deep, or I don't want to make a mistake? He's not thinking about that. He's thinking about, okay, I can make a play. He's got excellent hands. I mean, his hands are beautiful. I don't know if it's that white stick he's using that he spray paints. It makes you look like you got better hands than you may have. But his hands are silky. And to make that play off the rush on the power play, to recognize it, 19 years old in his fifth inning, was his fifth NHL game.
Yeah.
Kid's talented. I mean, great pick for the Flyers. I mean, I know everybody, and we're all saying they need centers, but sometimes you got to take the best guy available. And it looks like for them, with Martone dropping to 6, I think at least the early returns, it looks like that's the best guy available. I mean, great addition.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's helped everyone, right? Look at Michkov. He came back from the break, I think, refreshed with his head on its kind of. He got his head right, and I mean, against the Islanders, he was unbelievable. Like, he's played well. I think Martone's helped him.
I think Michkov is getting a nice lesson on the fly of what it means to be a team player. And I think, he's a young kid who, I think, when you're a young kid who's very talented, the world revolves around you, right? As a young player that everybody gravitates to, and everybody says you're the best player. And, so you get your head filled with this idea that you're the man, I'm the man, and the reality is when you get to the National Hockey League, it's a very good league. It's a very competitive league. There's a lot of good players. There's a lot of players that came from places where they were the best player. And I think, these are hard lessons that you have to learn. And I think Rick Tocchet may have been teaching some of these hard lessons to him. And I know that there's a strong section of fans that didn't appreciate the way Toc handled it. But I think it was the right way. I think, and listen, I have a 23-year-old son. I understand what these kids are going through. And you can tell them until you're blue in the face that it's got to be done a certain way. You got to do this. Until they get burned, they're not going to learn. And I think for me, if he had to learn some lessons the hard way, it's only going to benefit him. And I think what's more encouraging of all of it is when you look, as you mentioned, post-Olympic break, there's been more evidence to me of a bought-in team player. And now with the depth that the Flyers have at the forward position, it's like he's a spoke in the wheel as opposed to trying to be the wheel. And that to me is the mark of a team player. And I think he's learning some valuable lessons. It's going to be a big offseason for him to get stronger, to get quicker, to get better conditions so that he can be more tenacious. Because if you're not in good shape, you can't be tenacious. You die in a shift and you got to get off. I think those are the things he's got to work on to take it to the next level. But what I've seen in the last couple of weeks, it's been encouraging. And it's not going to happen overnight. It takes time. It's a good league. And he's learning these lessons. But having that depth kind of shelters him a little bit. It's not the pressure of having to be the guy.
Yes.
He's just a piece of the puzzle. He's a piece of the puzzle.
We forget about this, but he's been great all year long. Vladar has been ridiculous, man. He has been so consistent. He has been that guy that you could just count on. And look, they got better defensively over the break, and I know Toc put the new system in, but Vladar's been everything. He really has.
Yeah, I mean, we showed a stat last night. It was like long range save percentage. Like those are the shots that you're supposed to stop. And he's like second in the league in that regard. And what that tells you is that he doesn't give up those soft goals that I used to give up, from long range that, kill you and then you want to throw something on the ice,
That's not true.
which is why I'm doing this right now. Because,
no, man.
I was a terrible goalie and I gotta make a living post hockey. But he just he's been really dialed all year long, and to have that level of consistency, I can speak from experience. It's not easy. It's not easy, and I think there's a lot of things at play here. I think he's a motivated guy because he's on a 2-year deal. I think he knew deep down inside he always could be more than a number two that played 25, 27 games a season. So when he came to Philadelphia, he was like, this is a great opportunity. Not that he didn't have a respect for the goalies that were here in Philadelphia, but I'm sure he looked at it with his agent and was like, you know what? The Flyers, they look like they need a goaltender, like, and I could be that guy for them. I could at least play 40, 41 games and show them that I have the potential to be a number one. So I think he was motivated in that regard. I think he was motivated to represent his country at the Olympics. So the year that we're playing in, it's an Olympic year. You're super motivated to get to work and do it. So now, and then he looks at it, and if I do a good job in both of those scenarios, now I'm up again and I can get a nice payday. So there's a lot of things I think as to why we're seeing what we're seeing from Vladar at an age when it's you start to hit your prime, you start all the experiences that you had, the mistakes you made before, now you start to apply them and you become the goalie that you think you can be. It's been a perfect marriage. And I'm happy for him. He's a good guy. Like when you're around him, his energy is unbelievable. I mean, this guy doesn't seem like he has a bad day in his life. So I think he's a popular teammate. He's supportive of his teammates. If you watch him after every play, he's always tapping guys on the shin pads and giving positive reinforcement. Guys like that. Guys like to be told they did a nice job defensively. Like they don't want a goaltender that's just weird, sits back there and only gets grumpy and is a curmudgeon when things go bad, right? They want somebody, hey, good play. Tell me I made a good play.
Yeah.
Like, and he does that. And that's what, that's part of being a good teammate, which he certainly is.
It's interesting too, because when you have, he got that spot where they had a young goalie, a kid that they thought was the future. And so he got all the tough games. The kid got all the easy games. And, like being overlooked. And comes here, you realize, you go, wow, he passed all that. He went through it last year.
Yeah, exactly. And it deep down inside, internally, like that the team is getting behind Dustin Wolf in Calgary. Like, it. Nobody needs it. When you're getting the third start in 4 nights on the second half of a back-to-back after you got in at 2:30 in the morning, like the writing's on the wall that you don't have a future there. And, at some point in your career, if he's a little bit older, you accept that role because that the ship has sailed and the opportunity for you to be a number one is gone. So you buy into that role, you be the best you can be in that role and help your team. But for Vladar, I think he looked at it, says, I mean, what is he, 28 years old? Or I'm not even sure of his age, but he's in his late 20s. He's at the point now where he's like, hey, to his agent, if I don't do it now, I'll never do it. So let's get to a place where I can be or have an opportunity to be more than what I am here in Calgary. And Philly was a perfect place. I mean, no disrespect to Ivan Fedotov or Alexei Kolosov. They weren't ready to be in this position. Fedotov, no, and Kolosov's too young. He's got a lot to learn.
Yeah.
Just wasn't. And I think for Ersson, it's, Sam's a good goaltender, and I know he's been through a lot, and I mean, he's been exceptional since the Olympic break. He's made some tweaks, and he's been awesome. But, I think Sam is proving more that he is a 2 to a 1B.
Yep.
He can provide good moments, but I don't know if the sustainability is there long term. It's not a knock on him that he isn't a good goalie, but I think he's in a role now where he can share or come in and be that complement to Vladar, and it forms a good tandem.
So I know it's apples and oranges, but when a team gets hot this late, and I want to go back to 2010, what is the feeling? I know it's completely different situations, but when a team gets hot, like when you got hot in 2010, can you describe that feeling? Because it's just there, and this team feels like it's got this belief.
It's not different, to be honest with you. In a lot of ways, there's a lot of similarities there, Anthony. I mean, maybe the only difference is that I think early in the season, our team in 2010, with the changes that Paul Holmgren made in the offseason, I think the expectations were that we were going to be a top team. But we stumbled throughout the year, couldn't get our act together, and it took time. I think that's the difference, that this team, I don't think the expectations were there. But put yourself in this situation, I believe, 2010 was an Olympic year as well. So coming out of Olympic break, you kind of have a short stretch of games to get excited about. but I think what it brings is just an excitement inside the room. You can't wait to get to the rink the next day. Like, and there are times during the year where you just like, man, I wish we had a day off. We didn't have to go in. But now you want to go to the rink. You want to look at the out of town scoreboard. You want to see the standings in the locker room because they got them listed. And see where you stand. You're on the inside in position there. It just brings whatever bumps and bruises you may have. It's all good. You deal with it. They don't hurt as much. And I think that's what these guys are dealing with right now. It's an awesome feeling. I wish I was still inside that room. I wish I was maybe a coach or I'm just I'm part of it, but I'm not. It's not the same feeling. But I'm excited for them. I'm excited for Rick Tocchet.
Yeah.
An old teammate. I'm excited for Keith Jones and Danny Briere. These guys are, the level of patience that they've needed to have in this time where you would want to make a huge trade or do something, right? Shake the tree, but yet they've been, listen, we're going to draft, we're going to develop, and they're taking a lot of heat, and sometimes it's justified, sometimes maybe it's not, and yet now they're seeing what this group could be. It's not to say that they're going to get in 100% because Columbus won a huge game last night in Detroit. I mean, that 16 seconds left to tie it up.
I know.
That was massive. And so they've got to finish the job. They've got to find a way to turn the page, get ready for Detroit tomorrow night. But it's an awesome feeling as a player. This is what you play for.
I hear it in your voice. Like you listen to him. I hear you're excited. Like it's cool because I can feel it from you how much you're enjoying this thing.
Yeah, I am. I mean, I'm fortunate to be able to. I wear two hats at my job. I do the national, so I get to be a part of the playoffs and see all that and see how exciting that can be. But then I'm disappointed because the team that I cover all year long is not participating in the playoffs, and you don't get to, revel in that excitement. And I think right now, there's a chance that they could be a participant in the fun in a couple of weeks, and that gets me juiced up. Like, I'm fired up for it, and I hope it happens. I mean, because the league needs Philadelphia to be relevant. I mean, if you look at that Sunday game and when Martone scored the game winner in overtime, that feeling, that excitement, that is important. This is an important franchise, much like Boston is, much like the Rangers are.
Yeah.
But it's a good market, and when the Flyers are relevant, the NHL is in a better place. So I hope it continues.
Yeah.
Hey, Boucher, there's some chatter out there and concern about Vladar with the workload catching up to him. At this point, you being a goaltender, is that nonsense at this point? Is he past that, and do you have any concern that could catch up with him?
Yeah, no, I think you are past it right now because when it's hard is like in January, February, those are the dog days, right? You still got like 35, 40 games left. It's like, oh my God, is this thing ever going to end? But right now, like I said earlier, the energy and excitement that you have when you come to the rink, the fatigue that you feel, you don't feel it. You're running on adrenaline every single day. I mean, the excitement of winning a game at home and the crowd being fired up and seeing the people in the city wearing Flyers gear. It's, that stuff is important to players, and it allows you to kind of get recharged. This time of year is all about getting ready to do your job and then recovery. That's all you do. It's all you focus on. You sleep, you eat, what you're putting in your body and making sure that you're ready to go the next day. And I don't think the fatigue factors in as much as people think. I think for Vladar, the work has been done. Now it's about just, making sure you're ready to go the next day. And when you watch in his last three starts, he's given up 3 goals now. And some of the saves he's made has been extremely timely when games, it could go either way. So I don't see the fatigue in him. I wouldn't be overly concerned about it. I don't know what Tocchet's going to do the last 4 games as far as spotting him some rest, but seeing that this next one is probably the biggest one of the year, it feels like every game's that way.
Yeah.
I would go Vladar in Detroit if I was doing it. That's what I would do. And if you can kind of get yourself solidified, then you look to maybe do a split in the last 2 games of the season. But to me, it'd be Vladar tomorrow in Detroit.
Hey, my brother, last thing, a mutual friend, just want to give him some love. Vinny Borghese gets signed by the Leafs. South Philadelphia kid, great family. We're close with the family. Boucher, that's an awesome thing. Kid's a great kid.
Yeah, little Vin, great kid. I had the benefit of coaching him when he was younger. I coached with his dad, Vinny, Team Comcast, and a great passion for the game. Both his father and Vinny. I mean, they love hockey. They love the Flyers, and they were always at the rink. They're rink rats. Little Vin did it right, man. I'm sure, he took a longer path as far as like going to the USHL, didn't make the US national program because his 04 group was very talented, but he worked hard at it every single day, had a great 4-year career at Northeastern. He was a true leader there. He's got great offensive instincts, and I'm happy to see that he signed with the Maple Leafs, and he's kind of honing his skills at the minor league level right now, and hopefully someday he gets a chance in the NHL. But the kid he may be undersized, but he's got talent, he's got will, and I'm thrilled for him. I hope it works out. But he's earned everything he's gotten, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So I was at the bar last night, told some friends you were coming on, and you're like a savior to a lot of us because you brought back the Van Halen goal song. So they had asked last night, they're like, just make sure, ask him, does he lean David Lee Roth years or Sammy Hagar years?
Boy, yeah, that's a tough one. I have this debate with a lot of people. I don't know, you can say with many bands that it'd be a 50-50 split, but I like both. I mean, it's a terrible way it's like, I guess it's a cop out, but I mean, I'm
this hurts.
Man.
As a David Lee Roth fan, this hurts.
Sammy.
Nah.
I like both, but I do like both. I mean, it's not like but if I had to lean, you got to go with the original, right? I mean, I guess, David Lee Roth would be the first Van Halen you ever heard. So maybe it's like your first love, I guess, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's the one you stick with.
That's the correct answer.
It'd be 51% David Lee Roth versus 49% Sammy Hagar.
Perfect. Love it.
Boosh, we love you. Get to the rink, my brother. You're the greatest.
All right, guys. Get flyered up.
Let's go. Love it. The great Boosh hanging, always a blast. I need to have a VH fight. I want to get Joe Ben.
Oh, he can't be a Van Hagar guy.
Listen, his son is Sammy. I mean,
no.
I want a VH fight between you and Joe Ben. All right. We got lots of, that was awesome, man.
Yeah, he's great.
That was just awesome stuff. I love this. This is the best. All right, we're going to take a quick TO, talk about our friends. We'll come right back and get your golf picks. Augusta tomorrow, Masters, and Ben is a great guy. This is going to be good. You're going to go have your picks.
I got to put together what are you doing, a foursome?
I don't know.
All right.
Come up. Well, he's got picks. He's got picks for us.
Right.
So we'll talk to Ben coming up, but first a word from our friends.
Spring is here. Flowers are blooming. And if you've been thinking about upgrading your space, this is the sign to finally do it. Ashley's Spring Savings event is going on right now with inspiring new looks at unbeatable prices, including select spring styles starting at just $4.99. That's unheard of. And here's the best part. You can buy now and pay over time with no interest for 5 years when you shop in-store. So don't keep putting it off. Make it happen today at Ashley's Spring Savings event happening now. Shop more spring deals in-store. Ashley. For the past 30 years, Golden Nugget Jewelers has operated out of the very same location in the heart of Philadelphia. Customers from across Pennsylvania, New Jersey, even Baltimore, New York City have come to Golden Nugget Jewelers to find that perfect engagement ring, wedding band, or gift. Their staff is highly trained and dedicated to providing a personalized experience. I've gone there a couple of times. I had to replace a diamond in a ring. I had to get a necklace. They're not pushy. The staff is super informative. It's just a great shopping experience. They have a vast selection of engagement rings and wedding bands, along with high-end watches, fashion jewelry, sparkling diamond necklaces, bracelets, earrings, and everything else you could think of. You receive a final cleaning and written appraisal with every engagement ring purchase. And Golden Nugget Jewelers, they're family-owned. They've been operating since 1987, right there on Chestnut Street at 8th in downtown Philadelphia. You deserve an expert, and you deserve the best price. Golden Nugget Jeweler, where Philly gets engaged. Visit goldennuggetjewelry.com to learn more. Spring is here, flowers are blooming, and if you've been thinking about upgrading your space, this is the sign to finally do it. Ashley's Spring Savings event is going on right now with inspiring new looks at unbeatable prices, including select spring styles starting at just $4.99. That's unheard of. And here's the best part. You can buy now and pay over time with no interest for 5 years when you shop in-store. So don't keep putting it off. Make it happen today at Ashley's Spring Savings event happening now. Shop more spring deals in-store.
Mine?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, welcome back. Time now for the Daily Grind, the Masters edition. Yes, we have the Masters tomorrow. So let's look at the grind. Thanks to our friends at the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. And joining us, I love him. He has saved our social media at PHLY. He's an incredible voice on social media and a great sportsman. He's a true sportsman, unlike certain people here. A true sportsman.
Truth.
He rolls deep into football. He rolls every sport. My man, Ben. What's up, Ben?
Thanks for having me. It's good to be on the show, not having VG making fun of me. It's good to talk.
Oh, not yet. We haven't heard your
Yeah,
picks.
well, I just saw your first pick on the computer. It's not going to be, I mean, like, I got a glimpse of it during the ad.
Now remember, speaking to the microphone.
Yep.
And here's the deal. Right? In this battle, it's going to be you v VG in the battle.
And whoever has the best picks is going to
So I think we should pick a foursome. We've got the best score of the four. Is the four together?
Well, yeah, but I'm going to pick all four favorites then.
Yeah, no.
You can do that. I'm okay doing that.
Skill involved. Like, why don't you just follow his picks? And then we'll.
See, I have laws in golf. I usually don't like anyone with better than 20-1 odds.
Well, see, that's a problem at the Masters. That's part of my blueprint of what wins the Masters.
Tell us what man. I know Boo's listening.
So
he's a big golf bettor.
Yeah, okay. So the first thing you need is experience. Okay. The course history is a huge predictor of who's going to play here well this year. Part of that is players will talk about things that they pick up just along the years of playing, whether it's when to attack certain pin locations, whether par is just a good score. There's no thick rough around the green, so you have a lot of scrambling options, which means when you don't hit the green and you're scrambling to save par, there's so many different shots you can hit, and that tricks players. That's going to be really important. And then we've also seen just this year, the entire Florida swing, I think it's so hard to defend a lead heading into Sunday that you want guys that have been there in those moments that you can handle. Like, I think one of the hardest things to do in sports is teeing it up on Sunday at the Masters in contention, especially when the course conditions are going to be so good that you're not going to coast to a green jacket. You have to save your best round for Sunday, have to hit your best shots on Sunday, and that's going to eliminate a lot of the field because they won't be able to do that.
Wow, that's analysis right there.
Yeah,
so
sounds good.
So, like, that's a true analysis. I
mentioned a left hand. We need a southpaw.
Well,
lefties
are going to eat on the back nine, but you want to have guys that traditionally play a draw with a right to left ball path. Like you think about 2, the dogleg par 5, 9, the dogleg par 4, 10, the downhill par 4, all drawing holes that are going to favor that. Scotty talks a lot about hitting a low hook shot on some of those holes, especially when the greens and the fairways are playing a little bit more firm where the ball will roll down there. So
did you look at the weather?
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be beautiful. So, which has not been the case in past Masters. Right. It's going to be great this time. So the greens are going to be really firm. The fairways will be playing fast too. So the ball's going to roll.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what's up with Scotty?
Yeah, so
Scotty's has not played well, and what's up with him?
Yeah, so I think if you look at his season, by every other metric, it's just a good season. Like he won at the Amex, he was top 5 in both the waste management and at Pebble Beach. He was T12 at the Genesis, and then he went to the Florida swing, and it was kind of like a frustrating hovering around that top 20, and he just was like a mediocre iron player, which we really haven't seen. And then we haven't seen him play in over a month because he obviously had his kid. So it's kind of like people have talked about this being such a wide open Masters because, I mean, Scotty's the best golfer on the planet he's plays the course better than anyone in the field. He's a 2-time winner, but there's so many red flags. I think I was texting you last night. I was like, it's kind of hard to back Scotty given the circumstances because of just kind of his season. We've seen some regression, and it's still a really, really good season. And he's still Scotty Scheffler. He could go out and shoot 68 on Thursday, and he's just all the way back. But knowing what I know now pre-tournament, I think he's kind of hard to back.
Wow. Look at that.
He's not on my list. I agree with him so far.
So you don't have Scotty either?
No.
No, but wow, you just.
I don't get excited about 5-1 in golf either. I just can't. I can't get that.
Those are extremely short odds.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about from the odds standpoint. I'm talking about from the player standpoint. I mean, his greatness is real.
I don't like any of the top 4.
That was on my list too. I think Rory is the easiest fade.
Right.
I mean, it's hard to defend a title as it is. He had a back injury at the Arnold Palmer that I think was probably nagging him at the Players. He was a non-factor there, and then we haven't seen him play in over a month. So I think it's really tough to back Rory. I think there's a lot of distractions, and then you think about his just overall course history. He had to have just an incredible round. That was part of what made the story so great. But he hasn't played well at Augusta. I just think with all the distractions, he's probably the easiest fade this week.
So who do you hone in on? Let's go. Because you have a couple of guys that you think you're going to give us guys that you think can win it and some top 10s and top 20s. Is that it?
Yeah. So I think Xander Schauffele is going to be my pick in my one and done fantasy league. I love Xander Schauffele's game. Just not a ton of weaknesses. That's what really makes him. He's a little bit. It's almost like methodical the way he goes about managing the course because he can putt. He's a great iron player. He's got the length and accuracy off the tee. So he's just going to be all around. He has just not a lot of weaknesses to the game. He has a really good Masters course history that you want to back with multiple top 10 finishes. He had the rib injury last year, but he's playing really, really good golf. I think the only thing, if I was going to make a case against him, is you can go look at his form this year. A couple top 10 finishes, played really well at the Players. They were kind of backdoor, so he wasn't in contention.
Right.
So I think
he wasn't feeling that Sunday pressure.
Exactly. If you get it, and he's been there, he has 2 major championships. He has a chance to win a third. If he gets off to a hot start, I think he's a guy who can stay there. But if he kind of falls behind, he's the kind of guy that probably will backdoor into that top 5, but just not really a factor in terms of like a real chance to win it. I love Cam Young. He won the Players. Extremely long off the tee and very, very accurate. The one thing that has plagued him in the past was putting, but he's gotten really good at that. His caddy is really good at reading the greens. I think he has some good finishes here as well. He's going to be a guy that everyone loves. We saw last year's Players winner and Rory win it at the Masters. I think there's no reason Cam Young can't also do that.
Wow, this is incredible analysis.
And then
bang!
And then I love Bryce and DeChambeau. I think that this is
that's Boo's pick.
Yeah. Oh,
Boo loves DeChambeau.
Well, let me get a little bit of a polarizing guy, probably on and off the golf course, but I think he's probably he's the most electric golfer when he tees it up, just because, he's one of the best drivers of the golf ball in the entire world. He's a great putter. He's great around the greens. I think the question for him will be the iron play, because we've seen that spike, where when he's in contention, it's really good, but when he's not, that's really what's plagued him. But he's in really good form, back-to-back wins at Live, but we'll have to see how he performs.
His emotions get the best of him too often,
and I agree,
which is a problem.
If you want to make a case for him or a case against him, he shot 75 on the Sunday. He was in the final tee time, and that's what I talked about. Just the pressure that you feel heading into that Sunday. Should I get to the top 10?
So who do you like better, DeChambeau or Schauffele? See, that's the thing.
I like Schauffele better. I think
you gave me DeChambeau.
I really liked it. I'm going to take Bryson in every major. I will take Bryson in every major because he plays really well in it, and like he's usually pretty good. The problem with Bryson is that he hasn't been able to put together a complete tournament. Like at the PGA, he was in contention heading up into Saturday at Quail Hollow, but then he put 2 in the water, and then he was pretty much out of it. Missed the cut at the U.S. Open, and then at the British Open, he was struggling to make the cut, and then had this nuclear Sunday round to kind of backdoor some of these finishes. He just hasn't put together 4 straight rounds, where Xander is extremely consistent. You're going to get 4 rounds of pretty consistent golf. It's whether he can be in contention. He can put himself in contention on Sunday.
So
DeChambeau is not Master's material.
He's been in contention in the last. He's been in contention in the last. Yeah,
he's been in
contention the last 2.
You don't like dudes.
He can't finish it out. His emotions get the best of him.
And I gave you these 3 players. I don't know if they're necessarily going to win, but I helped you with your pool.
So I got invited to be in a Masters pool from the Farley brothers.
All right, they know what they're doing.
I don't know.
All right.
When Bobby Farley texted me, I was like,
there's a lot of pressure on you. They're just movie guys. You're a sports guy. You got to come in strong.
I was like, yo, Ben, because Ben knows his stuff. But should I change? I have DeChambeau.
Well, that's of the four. So you were only allowed to pick one of the top four. I think Bryson has the most upside because I think with Scotty, you'll probably get someone. A lot of people are probably going to take Scotty.
Right.
But I think he's going to give you at a minimum a top 10 finish, but will he be able to contend and win his third green jacket? Knowing what I know now, I don't necessarily feel comfortable about that. He could obviously prove us all wrong, but I think of your pool, Bryson will probably be the guy that maybe not as many people are on, and he has the upside to potentially win it and would be huge.
Over Rahm?
Well,
past 3 months, Rahm has been on fire.
John Rahm has some question marks, but since winning it, he was T45 and T14 since showing up at Augusta. So
T45 and T14.
Yeah, John Rahm since winning.
I bet Ben.
You know what that means? Or you want to tell what's it mean?
Oh, top 45 and then top 14, and it finishes since winning.
I'm just helping you out.
You didn't help me out.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on.
Can I get my three?
You play with it.
I got three that I think
for.
Who are your three that you think can win it?
Okay, I think Cam Young, Xander Schauffele, Bryson DeChambeau.
Those
would be my three.
I'm going Fitzpatrick, Aberg, and Fleetwood. They're my top
so,
three.
Aberg is a really good one. I think he has insane talent. I think one day he will be a Masters champion. The problem for him is just getting it done on Sunday. He hasn't won in over a year. I think the last time was the Genesis last year. And he put himself in contention, but I don't think it's going to be any easier for him on a Sunday, but he certainly has the talent. I think he'll be a really, really popular pick.
Mm-hmm.
Fitzpatrick's playing some of the best golf. His course history is a little bit rough here.
Yep.
But he has historically played well. I kind of like those.
Wait, dude, you didn't give me Schauffele.
I gave you Cam Young because I was going back and forth. Back and forth. If you want to switch, it's not too late.
You tell me.
Yeah, switch to Schauffele.
Go with
Xander.
Switch to
the
X.
Go with Xander.
Man.
The two others that I like.
I don't know if I can switch her now. I don't want to text. I don't.
You have to text someone to switch.
I don't.
Usually, Cam Young's a great pick as well.
Usually switch until
Cam Young.
tea time.
I know, but I don't want to be
Cam
like
Young's
that
gonna
guy. I just want to be like a cool guy. And he goes, "Hey, by the way, we're doing this project. Why don't you come hang?
Well, you want to be winning. You want to be winning it at the end of the tournament. You want?
Yeah, listen. I just want an invite to collaborate on a project with the Flyers. That's all I want. I want Bobby to go, yo, cuz, come and hang out on the set.
Can I give two sleepers?
Yes, please.
Corey Connors. I gave him for you for your pool.
Yeah.
He's a guy who I don't know why no one talks about him. He just has the course history you want to back. 5 top 10 finishes in his last 6 starts. T8, T38 and a missed cut, but then he went T6, T8, T10. So he has the iron play to really get it done.
He's writing your picks down.
Yeah.
No, I am not.
You should take him. You should take him.
I got my next 3. I got 3 long shots. I'm good.
And then another guy who's played really well here, Sunjay M. I gave him to use in the final tier. He had a top 2nd finish in his debut, and he's played really well here as well. So I love backing guys that have played the course here well. You pick up so many things over the years, and it's just going to be hard. I was looking at VG screen. Chris Gotterup's first-time player. Some people are really going to like him. I don't know if you ended up going with him, but this is just a really tough course for a first-time player.
So you got DeChambeau, X, Connors, Cam Young, and M.
And then I think Brooks Koepka could be really good. He's top 2 in strokes gained approach. The only thing with Brooks is, will he be able to putt? When he's played here and he's putted well, you've seen him finish really high, but when he hasn't, he's missed the cut. So he's the guy that could end up in the top 10, or he could completely miss the cut. So he's really volatile.
All right, VG, what do you got?
I got long shots. I go Patty Reed plus 4,200. He's been
you like Patrick Reed?
He has really good course history. I have him in a lot of. I might have given him to you in the pool.
I look Jacob Bridgman. Past 3 months, only Rahm and Scheffler are playing better. I love Bridgman. Mel Bridgman, come on, man.
He's the first time, I believe he's making his
sometimes they get lucky. And Akshay Basha, got to go lefty at 51-1.
It's a brutal pronunciation.
Yeah.
It's a brutal pronunciation. Akshay Bhatia.
All right. Basha, where I come from.
Juliana.
Yeah, exactly.
South Philly?
No, it's South. Believe me, it ain't South.
So they'll be my 6. You both my 6 against your 6.
We'll go. Yeah, those are our 2 pools.
All right. My 6 versus your 6.
So your 6 are Schauffele, Young, DeChambeau, Connors, M, Koepka. Who's no, that's your 6. Your 6 are
Fitzpatrick, Aberg, Fleetwood, Reed, Bridgman, Basha.
man.
You're doing it on purpose.
I make Ben a huge favorite.
Yeah.
Ben's a huge.
Well, he took
Ben's
some more
minus
odds.
280.
Yeah, I would say that that's probably right.
Of course you will.
I like some of the picks on paper. I just
Bang!
think like the course history is concerning for some of these guys. So you're taking more of a boomer bust because some of these guys can.
It's how I roll when I play golf,
Yeah,
man.
which
Let's go.
Which is fair.
Ben, great job, dude.
Yeah, nicely
you.
done.
Actually, you know it. I love it.
All right.
You're going to be part of our golf coverage, Aronimic, because we're going to do a special. This is a big summer for us in Philadelphia, as we are the obviously the height of celebration of the country, USA 250, and with the World Cup and the All-Star Game, and of course, Aronimic will be first and foremost at the PGA. So we're looking forward to it. You're going to be part of that coverage.
I know. I drove by it the other day. It looks
Now, you
incredible.
and the pro went over.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It looks incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
right.
stuff, Ben. Thank you,
Nice
buddy.
work, man. Nice work.
There he is. Ben! Ben comes up big. I like it. All right. Let's take a quick CO. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk to our man, Franny Films. Big event tonight.
Ooh, I can't wait for
For
tonight.
Franny Films. Big film session that's happening tonight. Our boy Franny. So looking forward to talking to Franny coming up. We'll talk a little draft. Pumped up for that. But first, let's talk about our friends. How about Parks Casino? Oh, how about it? A great place, a night of headline entertainment, award-winning dining. Make that night complete, and you could stay over. Yeah, VG, stay over at Parks.
Yeah, I love
The
Casino.
new and beautiful, elegant Parks View Hotel, just steps away from Parks Casino, and they have the shuttle service. Tickets still available for these headliners and Melissa Etheridge coming up Saturday, April 18th, Thursday, May 14th, the Wallflowers, May 15th, country music superstar Brantley Gilbert. Why do they always have two first names? Saturday, Dice Clay, the 29th. Oh, this is a VG night. A night of yacht rock
Yeah. Oh, Dumbo.
with Ambrosia and Pablo Cruz. Long Island Medium, Teresa Caputo, June 6th. We got Gene Simmons Band, July 24th. You got it all. ParksCasino.com to buy tickets for all shows. Got to be 21. Parks Casino, this is how you win. This is how you win. Hey, let's talk Xfinity, okay? Xfinity's 5-year price guaranteed. What if you can have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi and you could keep it the same price for 5 years? I mean, that's Xfinity's 5-year guarantee. Imagine Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home work together, that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. I have that, all right? It's super intelligent Wi-Fi, and a sixth sense it's got. Lets you stream the game online, even when the family's packing online, doing gaming and everything else. All your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And here's the best part: no annual contracts, no hidden fees. Xfinity's best equipment included. A lot can change in 5 years. Championships are won, records are broken, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, it should stay reliable. And the price should stay put. Xfinity.com. Learn more. Xfinity. Imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply. All right. Welcome back. Oh, what a day. A lot of fun, man. Flyers, looking forward to it. We got to wait. We got a dark night. We got a little day baseball with the Phillies today.
Yeah. Right into Franny's event. I'm stoked. I got
It's
my
actually
whole
perfect
afternoon planned out.
because we go Phillies into Fran.
Yes.
You know,
I'm ready.
it's going to be really cool. Big event tonight. Fran's film review, and a special thanks to Bird Gang Spirits, Kenwood Beer, and Santucci's
Oh,
North Broad Street location for donating party supplies for the film event. You know what? It's not too late. So you want to come and hang out, man. Come on and hang out at Franny's film event. It's something special. Fran knows prospects. Fran is terrific. That's right. On the clock with Franny Films, presented by our friends at Ashley Furniture. We love our Ashley Furniture, and they bring us On the Clock. Good morning, Franny.
What's going on, Ed? What's going on, VG?
What's up, Franny?
Pumped up for tonight. Excited?
Really excited. The events last year, we did two of them. One right after free agency, another right after the draft. This one kind of like in the middle. So my guess is it'll end up being like a mix of both. And we'll do another one of these after the draft too, I would imagine. So much fun. And the thing that I always kind of like take in with it is I don't want to be like running the show, like picking out who we're watching. So I'm always asking like the diehards who are there. I'm like, all right, who you guys want to watch now? Like, are we talking draft? Are we talking free agency? We kind of bounce back and forth. So it's gonna be a fun night at next in line comedy.
So give me on your list. Let's look at like a little preview of who we're looking at. I'm sure we'll start with some tackles. No?
Yeah, I would imagine we'll be digging into some like Caden Proctor, and some of these guys that are certainly being talked about at the offensive line for the Eagles. I would imagine we'll talk through some Kenyon Sadiq, the potential of him maybe falling to the Eagles at 23. Explain maybe my Keldrick Falk love if like, all right, if some of these offensive players are off the board, talk through some of these receivers, Casey Concepcion, but also, too, like I think the first player I would kind of want to lead it off with is Reek Woolen, just in terms of, all right, like this is a guy that's going to be, it looks like he's going to be a starter for this Eagles team. So I'll probably start there from the free agency end of it. But I also want to dig into some of these prospects as well.
Well, the Reek stuff's going to be fun because, you go over how sticky he is and, how the idea about keeping his emotions. And I was talking to someone down there, I don't know, it was like a week or two ago, and they were real excited about Reek. And it's like, they feel like they got great coaching on that side of the ball. Obviously, the offensive side's new, but that side of the ball, really good coaching. And they're excited about kind of putting him back there with Quinyon, with Cooper, kind of letting him, be himself, but also rein himself in.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing. I think that, when I've talked about the signing and, you talk about the positives and negatives of Reek Woolen, I think the volatility of his game has kind of all gotten amassed into like one overall thing. It's like, oh, well, he commits penalties and things like that. Yeah, like there is that aspect of it, right? Like there's the taunting end of it. To me, like that is separate from like some of the volatility that you do see like on the field where he will give up big plays. But when you look at the physical tools, like he also, he creates big plays as well. And since you're not relying on him to be the number one guy, I am excited to see what he looks like here in this scheme.
I know. I cannot wait. I'm looking forward to that. All right, back to the draft. You mentioned receivers. A lot depends on the A.J. Brown situation. And,
right.
Because if A.J. Brown is on this team, then I can look at Bell, a guy that's not going to be ready until November, who I think is modeled after A.J. Brown. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking, 6'1", north of 220 pounds, did an outstanding job after the catch. Very reminiscent of AJ when he was at Ole Miss. When AJ was at Ole Miss, he was primarily a slot receiver, and you saw Tennessee, a lot of like reduced splits and quick slants and shallow crosses, get him the ball and just let him roll. That's the way that Louisville opted to utilize Chris Bell. And so it wasn't until really when AJ got here to Philly where you started to see that vertical dimension and how good he was, tracking the ball down the field, and you talk about the late hands and all that stuff. So I think when you're looking at Chris Bell, there's a lot of reasons to be excited, but tearing his ACL in late November, like that's going to be the concern. So as you mentioned, he's not going to be ready until midseason. I think the way that I'm looking at wide receiver here for this team, and honestly, I'm going through it right now because I'm on the back end. I'm at the literally like as I'm.
So Baldy and I went through like 12 hours of receivers. So I'm curious to see what your thoughts are. I'm not as big on Concepcion as you are. I think there are other guys. I like Cravers. I like their Craver. I like a couple other kids on that team. Other weapons.
There's a latest mock came out yesterday. Schrager, a name I'm not unfamiliar with. Denzel Boston of Washington. Yeah. What do you guys think of him?
I like the Indiana kid. I'm a big fan of the Indiana kids.
Yeah. Denzel Boston is a big body. You think like of Drake London. He's like that archetype of receiver, right? He's 6'2", 6'3", north of 220 pounds. I think that when you're looking at him, it's like get him the ball quickly. He can work inside and outside. To me, like there was a lot to like. I struggled loving
I didn't love him.
Yeah, I struggled loving him, but I could see the allure because honestly, like those types of receivers are not necessarily my cup of tea. I think it's harder to separate like the Alshon Jeffries from the world versus like the I'm trying to like the Laquan Treadwells of the world, right? Where it's like, there are so many of those guys that typically don't work out because they can't separate. They're big and they're physical, but don't have the route running chops. I think that Boston has shown good flashes, but I don't like him as much as others. I do like Concepcion. He's literally the polar opposite of Boston, where he's undersized, but he is one of the best route runners in this class. Creates with the ball in his hands. And to me, he is one where with AJ Brown or post AJ Brown, I think that you can say like, all right, he
can play slot. So
yeah, he's got that ability. I think he can win on the outside as well, just because his release package, I think his technique is very, very good early in the down, and he can create some of that separation. So I don't think that he would be limited to there, but I think that, like if you've got AJ and Devontae, all right, we could feel good about putting him into the slot.
If AJ's not here, is he too small to pair up with Devontae Concepcion?
I don't think so. I think that he does have that ability to be able to hang out in 12 personnel sets, 2 receiver sets, and you'd be okay with both he and Devontae on the field at the same time.
Who else did you like? I gotta tell you, I like both the Indiana kids. I was again strong, good hands. I like both those kids.
Yeah, so Omar Cooper Jr., it looks like he's going to be right around in that Eagles range, as early as the Jets at 16. That's what I was saying. I'm actually just towards the end of my my next mock draft. I'm hoping to post that today. I'm actually at the Eagles pick, literally like right now, in the second round. And I had Cooper falling just beyond the Eagles pick. In the first round, he's a good player. Get him on the move, especially the yards after catch. Like get him the ball on the run and let him work. Good flashes as a route runner, outstanding body control as an athlete.
Yeah,
he's a fun player. I think with Elijah Surratt, the other Indiana receiver, a little reminiscent of JJ Arcega-Whiteside, where like he's a skilled player, like he's got route running chops. I like his ability to get off the ball, but he's a former 0-star recruit, began his career at St. Francis College up here in Pennsylvania, then transferred to James Madison, then followed Signet at Indiana. And I think that you could see that 0-star background with him as an athlete. I worry that he's not going to have the physical tools to be able to create his own separation consistently. It's a lot of back shoulder fades. I just kind of struggle with that profile a little bit with Surratt, but
the kid's a football player though, man.
He is.
He's
an easy guy to like.
Yeah, and that's exactly. I mean, dude, I mean, Sadiq is. I'm gaga over Sadiq. You're gonna go run this offense. Go give me a real tight end.
Yeah, to me, I don't know if Sadiq's going to make it there to 23. I spent a lot of time on the phone and texting with people last week and around the league in terms of media members and other markets. And all right, what are you hearing for your team? And Sadiq's name came up consistently, picks 13 up through the Eagles, all those teams leading up. So I'm one of these teams is likely to take them. So we'll see. I think it starts probably as early. I don't know if the Rams will take him at 13, but I think it starts becoming live for the Ravens at 14. So that gives you 9 picks, 10 picks there. There's just a lot of landmines where he can go off the board.
So let's talk about this for a second. You have an idea of you're about to drop this new mock. Give me some of the risers that you think guys are getting some heat, and the way because we have to see how this board's going to fall. That's the key to every draft.
No question. I think that, look, this is a guy that I've been really high on throughout the process. And, I know I'm higher than pretty much anybody on him in terms of consensus. Auburn pass rusher, Keldrick Falk. A lot of conversations I've had
I think you're dead on with him. I think I love him. I love the kid.
Yeah, just hasn't gotten a lot of love in mock drafts and from analysts out there. It's he's going to, end of first round. Some mocks don't even have him in the first round. I think he's going to go in the top 15. I think he's going to go if he's on the board for the Eagles, I think that would be that's too good to pass up kind of situation. But I would be surprised if he were there just based off conversation.
I think I know you fell in love with him. I think you're spot on. I trust you. I completely agree. Why isn't he getting any kind of love?
I don't know, because to me, he's a guy. A lot of the players in this class are going in the top 20, top 10, just because of the nature of this class. It's just not a great class at the very top. I think he would be a profile that would go in the top 15, top 20 in any draft. And so in this draft, why is he not getting the love? Like, because he had 2 sacks last year. Okay, well, he had 7 the year before as a sophomore. So it's not like he's never produced. It was just not a great defense, not a great team last year for the Auburn Tigers. The other guy I think is going to end up going higher than we think is Caden Proctor from Alabama, the offensive tackle,
Yeah.
potentially an offensive guard. I do think he'll end up going a little bit earlier, and he's like 11th on my board or 12th on my board. I do think he's going to end up going somewhere like in that ish range at the end of the day. So that would be another one.
Where do you think he profiles? Because he is a little slow. Like, he can get beat on the outside by quick edge guys.
Yeah, to me, like the thing with him, and this has been reported, was that he came in very overweight this season to start the year. We're talking like close to 4 bills, and that showed early on. And so I think that when you saw like the weight kind of cut down, that all of a sudden he was playing up to the potential that a lot of people saw from him in the summer off of the 2024 film. And to me, like that's the thing, is that when I watched him in 2024, he played most of that season with a bum shoulder or the torn labrum that required surgery after the year. And he is just blowing people off the ball. And you see the athleticism, you see the power, you see all the physical tools to be an all-pro offensive lineman. So to me, like, I'm really high on this kid. I do think that there's like a Jordan Davis element there where it's like, all right, like, got to keep the weight in check. That's going to help him realize his potential. But from what I understand, like, fine kid off the field. Like, you're not.
No, he's a great kid off the field.
It's not like red flags. It's just like, all right, he's got to keep the weight in check. And if he's able to do that, you're getting a really, really good player with an extremely high ceiling.
Yeah, I can totally see that. Let's look at your shopping list. Like, if you're you pushing the cart, you're a food guy, so you're pushing the cart through your your shop, right? What are you looking at? Like, you're the Eagles. Give me what you're looking for that you want to make sure that you come away with.
Yeah, to me, I definitely want to be able to continue to add to this pass catcher group. I think that that's going to be important as we continue to move forward here throughout the calendar. So whether that's receiver, whether that's tight end, all the tight ends on the roster right now are on expiring contracts for 2027. So I want to make sure I'm adding to that room, adding offensive linemen into the pipeline. I really do feel like this is an offense-heavy draft with the first 4, 5, 6 picks that the Eagles make here. So to me, if it's not majority offense, that would be a big surprise. Defensively, I think that the only position that I'm willing to say, like, all right, if you're passing up an offensive lineman or a receiver early, is if like a blue chip rusher were to fall to you, the guy that you have graded highly and he's the best player available. If it's a Keldrick Falk type of situation, then you take that guy, to kind of replace Jalen Phillips in that way. But otherwise, like, I'm probably adding as a day 2, day 3 pass rusher. Same thing at safety. I think adding to that room, I think, will be important. I don't love the idea of having 2 really young safeties on the back end there, but I think that's just kind of the hand that they're going to be dealt here this season. So you're hoping that Cooper DeJean can kind of be that connective tissue there to keep everybody rolling in a positive direction. So I think that's probably the big thing for me, Ann, is like, all right, like, make sure you get safety, so add some edge room depth, offensive line, wide receiver, tight end. Maybe you add in a back late in the draft. Maybe a quarterback if you feel like you want to add to that room. But no, it's pretty clear cut here for the Eagles.
Yeah, I think you definitely need a wide receiver and a tight end. I mean, you got no young. Really, after this year, you still have nobody on the roster. You got no tight ends on the roster, so you gotta come away with a tight end. And look, day 3, if you don't get Sadiq in the first round, there's a lot of guys. The kid from Vanderbilt I like. What's the deal with Delp? Because I like Oscar. I like Delp. I always thought he had a shot.
Yeah, I mean, he's a 3-year starter at Georgia. He was a starter alongside Brock Bowers. That was his first year starting, and they started both guys. And he's always been kind of like that in-line presence for them. But he's got plenty of athletic juice. This is a guy that can create with the ball in his hands. He's got the ability to get down the seam. He tested that way, but you watch him on film, and he's got it. So that's a position where production at college does not always dictate future NFL success. George Kittle's kind of the poster child for that. But I think when you're looking at these guys, if they've got athletic traits and the physicality and want to be that kind of blocker as an every down kind of rugged presence, there's something there to work with. And Delp honestly does have that. So to me, that's why he's my 3rd tight end. He's a top 50 player for me.
Well, you got to be good because I love, like, I don't get it. I mean, I like it better than Claire.
Yeah, I like him more than Claire too. To me, like I have Sadiq is clear number one. I have Justin Jolie there because I think he can be like an
Yeah,
impactful pass catcher, and I think he checks the
yes.
box as
He's
a
a receiver.
blocker.
I mean, he's basically a receiver.
Yeah, I think that he gives you a little bit more as a blocker than some of the other guys in this class that are the same archetype, like more than Stowers and some of these other guys in that mold. But to me, after that, like it's dealt. And I think that this is a guy that can check a lot of the boxes. And so if you get him, third round, that's kind of I think that we're kind of and even like honestly, like I said, I'm at the Eagles pick at the end of round 2. That would probably be the earliest I'm looking at with Delp, and I could see someone projecting him that way.
Yeah, I like him. I mean, he's a kid I like.
Hey, Freddie, can I ask you about my boy with the mullet? Iowa offensive lineman, plays guard, plays tackle, captain of the O-line there.
Jennings Dunker.
Jennings Dunker. Where do you think he goes? Is that someone with his versatility that Howie might like to take a chance with?
Yeah, I think that at the end of the day, he's probably best cast as a guard as opposed to tackle. But I do think that he's got that ability to kick out if you absolutely need him to. My guess is you're talking about him like early day 3. You get into like the 4th round. I think that's probably where he's going to end up going off the board. Maybe he sneaks into the back end of the 3rd round. But I think that that's probably where you're looking at with him. A unique athlete from for a guy that big, like he's graceful. He's got body control. He's an explosive kid. The testing was fine. Well, didn't like move the needle there, but he's a good football player. And we know like the pedigree for Iowa offensive linemen speaks for itself. Those guys tend to stick. And I think Dunker kind of follow along that path.
Did you see NCAA potential change that they're looking at?
Which one?
19 to 24. It will be you're allowed 5 years.
5 year, 5 to play 5. Yep.
And it's the eligibility goes up to age 24.
Yeah, that one is the tricky one. I don't know if I would necessarily put a cap on the age end of it, but I think that the 5 years to play 5, I think that makes it very clear cut. And just say like, hey, at the end of the day, like you get hurt twice, like I'm sorry that that kind of is what it is. The big thing, and that's honestly that's how it typically has been. Like very rarely did they give out the exceptions for that extra year, for that 6th year. It happened every once in a while, but it was rare. But then once COVID happened and everybody got that 6th year, I feel like they got a little bit more lenient with it. And so then they
if you're Ole Miss, you just keep arguing the case in front of a Mississippi judge, you're going to win.
Right. But then the Diego Pavia case last year and that's kind of what really opened the door for me was like, all right, like if we're going to say all junior college eligibility doesn't count towards NCAA eligibility. All right, well then these guys are going to be, if you play 2 years at JUCO, now you can play 4 years in college or 5 years in college. On top of that, yeah, you're going to get 25-year-olds, 26-year-olds, playing, at the highest level.
But let me make this argument because I don't mind. I'm in the minority. I don't mind older kids playing. And here's the thing. Especially for those positions like O-line, D-line, D-tackle, like let's talk about being a man, right? I'm not talking about Jeremiah Smith or Ryan Williams coming in at 17 years old playing, receiver. First of all, schools are looking in the portal first. So high school kids are not being looked at like they were. And so to me, they should be allowed to go to JUCO at least for a year or two, and not count on and not start the clock, because high school kids aren't given the opportunity.
Yeah, and honestly, because it's when you look at the prep schools, like the Fort Union military academies, a lot of those prep schools, that has not traditionally counted towards college eligibility in the past. And I think that's kind of the argument in favor of the JUCOs. It's like, all right, well, if you can go to a military academy, and a lot of it has to do with like academic credit and what counts, what doesn't. Typically, the military academies, that is going towards your high school GPA. You're trying to get yourself academically eligible to get into college. So that's typically what goes into that.
But that's all changed now because of this whole thing, right? So like there should be a separate rule that you should be able to go to JUCO and you start the clock afterwards. I don't mind if you're looking at 25 at the very top end, 26. You want to make the cutoff at 25, 26. All right. But like you got to allow these kids to go to JUCO.
Yeah, I honestly am perfectly fine with that from a college. Some people in college football are like, oh, like no, absolutely not. I'm fine with that. Now, like when we're talking about like projecting those players to the draft, I think that's where it gets a little clunky in terms of like trying to compare that guy to like you were saying, like Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams, the Keldrick Fox who produced as a 19-year-old in the SEC. I think that when you're looking at that projecting forward to the NFL, that becomes a little trickier. But in terms of like college eligibility, I'm perfectly fine with it. I just want the consistency across the board. Like that's why I do think like, hey, you have 5 years to play 5 years, 5 years to play five. Like that's clean, right? And so whatever the rules are, just stick to the rules. I think that makes sense.
Well, the other issue is each sport needs to be looked at differently. They want to blanket every sport together.
Right.
Basketball is different from football, right? Like we saw yesterday, all the kids in the portal for basketball. There's over 1,000 kids in the portal. It's crazy, right? Like
12 hours.
Right. And like boom. But these sports are different. You can't hold them. The timing's different. Everything's different. And baseball's different. Like you got to have different rules for each different sport. I know people go, oh, they want to just put it into one pool. It's not.
Yeah, and that's what makes it tough. And that is to me, like even like we're now getting into big picture conversation when it comes to like conference alignment and things like that, or you've got okay, for the revenue sports, Stanford and Cal being in the ACC sounds silly, but like all right, they're able to make it work. But to put men's to put like baseball,
volleyball,
and women's soccer and volleyball and lacrosse in the ACC.
Well,
like
USC playing Rutgers in volleyball is ridiculous.
It's crazy, right? So I think that it's going to take time. They move at a glacial pace, but I do think that at some point it is going to get there in terms of just really kind of crystallizing all of this. But it's pretty clear that football and basketball, and honestly, like even separating those two out, but those two sports, the true moneymakers in college athletics, should operate from a different set of rules.
Yeah, I mean, I would include baseball, and you see hockey now. I mean, look at Martone. Look at like that's the path now. Like your kids getting paid. Those schools are competitive schools. Like, they're all different. You got to treat them that way. But, Franny, we're excited about tonight. Once again, let's put that up, Jules. This is going to be Franny's film session. And I love it. We want to thank Fran, Bird Gang Spirits, Kenwood Beer, and Santucci's North Broad Street. It's going to be a blast.
Connor Barwin in the house.
Yeah, dude.
I'm going to be there. Free beer, pizza. I'm in. I'll be there.
How do if people want to get a hold? It's not too late, right, to come.
No, there's a handful of tickets left. So if you want in, you're in the area, like, hey, come and join us. It'll be a lot of fun. I know that the link is on allphly.com. I put it up on my social channels as well yesterday. So take advantage. Come down. It's a good time. We had
you're
a lot
the
of fun
best.
at the two events
So
last
if I
year.
want to talk about a player, we'll discuss it. You pull up maybe some video.
That's it. You got a player you want to hit on? If we got time, we'll try and hit everyone's request that way.
Nice.
Yeah. And dude, just hanging with you is worth it. So you are a great hang. You just are. You're an ace, man. Great stuff, buddy. Can't wait tonight. Franny's film session. Let's go.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, buddy. The great Franny Films. He is terrific, and he's stuff inside and out. All right.
I see a lot of these mock drafts going around. I'm like, look at these people. They can't get Franny water.
I heard. Again, the Delp.
Yeah.
I love the kid Delp from the tight end, and from Georgia, and I'm like, I looked at one of these rankings, and they had him like 9th. I'm going, I don't
like
see
9th
it.
in wide receiver,
tight
ends.
And I'm going, I like this kid a lot. I don't. They got Max Clear over him. I'm like, I don't see that a little bit. I was kind of funny because he and I are aligned. I like the kid Falk a lot. He's the edge. He's good.
I've seen his name pop up in the low 20s.
He's got a great motor. He's fast. He's great off the edge. Like, he's good. Like,
I mean, they need an edge, but I mean, this offense is so bad. It's a tricky situation.
You got to come away. I agree. Right? You got to come away with an O-lineman. You got to come away with a receiver, and you got to come away with a tight end.
Yeah.
They're all musts. I would love to go get another edge, but
There's a part of me I just think there's guys out there.
gotta be an offensive draft.
There's that veteran out there you can get like his training camp starts or finish it up. There's guys like Clowney. There's some guys out there.
Yeah. Or maybe it's Max.
Max would be awesome.
Maybe it's Max. How he shakes
Then
the
again,
world.
you're giving up your first round pick this year. You're not going away with an offensive player.
Okay.
All right.
All right. You like that's supposed to dissuade me from Max? I think not. All right. Let's take a quick TO. We'll come back. What's going on with the World Cup and 4 for 4? Meg is in the house. Love Meg. She's in the house. She's coming up next. Right here as we hang out. But first, a word from our friends.
You know that moment, the one when you realize you've left your favorite sunglasses at the beach, on the roof of your car, and drove away, and they fell off at a gas station 3 states away. Well, that happened to me. I've been there as well. I know the pain. I was in Toronto, left my nice sunglasses at a hotel in another country. I never got them back. So then I was afraid to wear nice sunglasses, to buy them and actually use them. Then I found Shady Rays, and it changes the game. These sunglasses, they're made for real life. They're seriously good looking. They're polarized, they're durable, and they're not stupidly expensive. And here's the crazy, crazy wild part. If you lose them or break them on even day one, Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair. No guilt trip, just replacements. So now I actually wear my sunglasses without fear. Take them on hikes around the city, concerts, mosh pits, on the boat, wherever, because Shady Rays is the eyewear that has your back. So go to shadyrays.com and use the code PHLYSR for 40% off. 40% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. shadyrays.com. Hey, if you're a regular viewer or listener of this show or any PHLY show, we want to hear from you. Take a shirt survey. Let us know what you love and how we can be better, and you'll have a chance to win a $100 Amazon gift card. Obviously, if you're a follower of the Gargano Show, then you are someone with great taste and impeccable judgment, and your opinion matters to us, so let us know. So head over to allphly.com/survey today to get signed up. And if you're watching us right now, you can scan the QR code right there on the screen. It takes about 3 minutes, and your feedback will help shape what we do around here. Now, don't you wish that the Sixers maybe were taking your phone calls or listening to your feedback about how they're running things? Everyone who completes the survey will be entered to win a $100 Amazon gift card. So let your voice be heard. Talk to us. We want the feedback. We need it. So take the survey today, scan the QR code on the screen, or head over to allphly.com/survey. That's all you got to do. Super easy. allphly.com/survey.
That can't happen. All right, welcome back. I'm excited. I got my girl here. There's nobody better. When I talk about a 4 for 4 great sportswoman, I mean, she's it. All right, Meg Kane, our dear friend and CEO of Philadelphia Soccer 2026, FIFA Philly.
What's up?
Yo. Well, so
How's it going?
VG, Meg, and Pat are on a chain.
All right.
All right. So, like,
Well, thanks for the invite.
dude, I got enough of your memes. These are memes.
Oh, here we go.
Love
Like-
gifts. Love
Yeah,
gifts.
like-
You don't do memes.
I don't do. I can do them occasionally.
Yeah, you
a good
got-
gift.
She does
I
them
do-
occasionally.
I'm with you and Pat. I'm with you and Pat.
You hang.
Right.
You don't go. Every other thing with this dude's a meme. Stop with the
All right.
memes.
Gotta appreciate a good meme.
Sometimes you need a good one.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Sometimes.
Occasionally.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
All the time.
He does it constantly.
Okay. Yeah.
I
I,
got-
mean, I gotta prove. Like, I mean, I got you and Pat. I gotta make sure.
No, you're.
Pat's a great. Me and Pat meme gift each other all the time.
Okay, can you see that?
No.
No. He's
But-
lucky to get LOL out of Pat.
Yeah.
Pat's the greatest, man. He'll get once in a while. He'll do the like an exclamation.
Yeah. Like an
He-
emoji.
He doesn't do the heart.
No.
He won't. No,
Every
that's
once in a while, I get a thumbs up.
yeah.
Right, yeah.
The thumbs
Yeah.
up
The
is
thumbs
always-
up is
yeah.
always like
So first of all, countdown's on.
64 days till opening match.
Oh my god,
64 days till FIFA Fan Festival opens at 11
Yeah,
a.m.
let's go.
4 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, for people at home, because I've been following along with you. Her schedule. Nobody's got a schedule like hers. Your schedule's ridiculous. I don't know. You're on a plane. You're dealing with security. You're dealing with the government, the local government, the state government, the U.S. government. Like, you're all over the place. What's your schedule? Your schedule's crazy.
Every day is different. Every day is different. And that's what's amazing about this. You never
know.
know what you're going to wake up and do. Some days I'm here, I'm on your show. Other days, in meetings. Luckily, we have an amazing team. Lauren Lambrugo, our chief operating officer, is really leading the charge on all the operations. Melissa Bacoli, who you've had on, is, doing the Lord's work in a lot of ways on the external affairs side. And of course, Tim Wilson is our CFO, and he is keeping us all in line. So, but yeah, we've got an amazing team. They're doing so much good work. I just get to be the Pied Piper of soccer. Right now, that is the number one job, is let's get everybody excited, everyone ready. And
We got Champions League today.
I know. There's been a lot of great soccer.
I know.
Going on. A lot of great soccer. Sorry about Italy last week, but I know. But it was a match. I mean, those PKs are
Bosnia.
Yeah, you can't lose to Bosnia.
Look, I wasn't going to say it, but
they stink.
they expanded the tournament to 48
And
teams.
they didn't make it.
No,
They stink.
and nobody was rooting more for Italy.
I know you
And
were.
I wanted Italy and Ireland back to qualify,
Yeah.
because I just thought, like, what great fans to
Yes.
add into this,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I was like, oh my God, it's going to be amazing.
But they ragged out. They had to survive Northern Ireland.
You're right.
Northern Ireland, they survived the PKs.
Yes.
And then they lose to Bosnia.
I know.
And they played a man down for almost the whole match.
I know.
Mr. Tony. Mr. Tony was upset.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Mr. Tony said, like, he's from Naples.
Yeah,
Like, he's
that was
upset.
heartbreaking.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I gotcha.
No good. But
no, lots of good soccer going on, and now we have all the teams qualified, so that's exciting. And
so
ready.
give us like a little bit of a kind of steps toward the countdown and what's going to be happening.
well, right now, and we are in finalizing everything, from an operational standpoint. We're really focused on transportation mobility, safety and security, all the tent poles, as I like to call them, right? It's the tent poles. You get those right. That's what allows the magic to happen in the moment, because you've got those key things taken care of. We obviously are gearing up for FIFA Fan Festival at Lemon Hill, 39 days. We just made our operating schedule has been announced. We're still July 4th. It will be coming later, but we are ready to go with what's going to be on the big screens. People can start to plan, which is great. We've got amazing activations coming. There's going to be a major soccer activation there. Family-friendly zones, including, sensory areas for families, making sure that it's inclusive.
Cool.
It's free to the public, which we're really proud of as a host city, that people can enter and have a World Cup experience. We think that's so important for both residents and visitors alike. And then 2 weeks ago with Governor Shapiro, who I know has been on your show as well, we just announced fan zones. We're going to be doing fan zones across the Commonwealth in Reading, Scranton, and Pittsburgh, July 4th to July 19th. So there'll be 4 days in each of those areas, which is going to be so cool. Out in Pittsburgh, people are going to be able to watch World Cup matches on the field at the Pittsburgh Steelers Stadium.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Cool.
So cool.
me.
Yep. They're doing a great festival atmosphere
I
out
love
there.
when Meg goes to the other side of the state. There's no big Eagle fan in Meg, right? The Eagles, Phillies, Flyers, Sixers. Like she's on.
I'm wearing orange and black today. I mean, I got a white jacket and orange shirt. I dress for my teams. I dress on brand. You know it is. Without I don't I'll wear my Kelly green. I've got Kelly green dresses. I always
know
roll
you
in
do.
with
Yeah.
my
I love that. I love that
right.
you're on the other
She's
side
a
of the
brand,
state too.
yeah.
And you're like, yeah, you
I
could be subtle.
I did wear a black and gold dress. Like I was presenting out there, and I was like,
you did?
know your audience, absolutely.
No photos. No photos.
That's
though.
right. Listen, we can all get along. The
I'd say-
Steelers have been great partners. Not,
So we're like, this is going to be pretty amazing, man.
it's going to be
Like,
amazing.
Yeah,
Soccer
I'm
Coachella.
so excited.
As I've been telling you,
Yeah,
right?
that
I
was
use
a
this all
great-
the time as
Yes.
an example, right? Because I think people, being from Philadelphia, and being Catholic, like I tell people, I think sometimes, people are like, oh, you guys are like standing up, like, the due respect, like the same auditors, like carnival, like, right? Like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what it's
yeah.
going to feel like. We're going to have a little first wheel or a little this, a little that,
Yeah.
right? There'll be some-
Like it's Stella
some
Maris.
cotton candy,
Yeah.
right? It's
Like
like
it's
some
Stella
cotton
Maris
candy,
Carnival.
right?
Gravitron.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Couple guys stealing blackjack in the back.
right. We all know what that is, right? And like, I think in our minds, it's like you say, like an outdoor event. People are like, okay,
Yeah.
it's just like nothing like that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we're programming 1 million square feet, right? We've got this absolutely like, I mean, when you guys see the FIFA partners that are coming in and the activations they're building. It's going to be, I mean, it's incredible.
When you
It's
say
incredible.
activations, what does that mean?
I mean, like, think of like I'll use Home Depot coming in and doing something that is like super fan friendly, that is gonna like, it promotes what they do, their brand, but it also like it engages people, it gives them things to do while they're there.
Yeah.
When I was in Qatar, for example, I'll use a Visa. It had an incredible experience where you went in and you wore these like VR pieces and you played 3-on-3 soccer, but the game itself was creating a piece of art that you then were able to like download and like and use on and across your social media. So like, I mean, really creative stuff.
Super Bowl, right? And you see all the stuff that they have,
do.
these huge tents and all kinds of things and activities. Like, it's great. It's wild.
We're also gonna have a major, you know, merch store there. So you know, all of the FIFA merch that you could want will be there. And I think one of the things that I'm super excited about is that we've really made such a point of making sure like it felt like Philly, right? You know, Michael Delbain always talks about bringing the Philly flavor to the world, right? As our executive producer. And we are right now, you know, today is the last day to apply for community talent at FIFA Fan Festivals. So think about that. Like to be able to perform like in between matches, like that's so super cool. We're having a vendor village so that small artisans, craftsmen, small businesses can sell there and be part of this.
I love that.
Which is really exciting. And then we really rooted our entire food and beverage program in food truck.
Yeah.
Oh,
Food truck
nice.
activation.
Yeah.
Right. And not just, I mean, we're going to have our cheesesteaks, our water ice, our stuffed pretzels, but like really making sure that like that food truck culture that we love in Philadelphia, that is so us, is there. And being able to rotate that through over the course of 39 days, we're going to be able to do so much, which is amazing. Yeah.
I mean, the different, because of what we offer from a culinary standpoint, everybody will be represented.
So if I go to like those night markets, it's just lined with the food trucks.
That's right.
They'll be there.
Yep.
Cool.
That's exactly right. And we'll have different food truck clusters around Lemon Hill.
Nice.
So that way you can go and see and check out different things. Anheuser-Busch is going to be building, you know, beer gardens. We're going to have grab and go stations, you know, with Coca-Cola and Frito-Lay. So like those are like, it's just going to feel really fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Party.
It's a party.
We talked about like,
it's
you know,
a big party.
it's a 39-day, 40-day party.
Right. And the fan zones will be a miniature version of that in Reading, Scranton, and Pittsburgh, which is great because we want to make sure, and it's so important to the governor, you know, just as it was important to the mayor to make sure that people in Philadelphia could have a World Cup experience. It was really important to the governor that Pennsylvanians could have a World Cup experience. And, you know, led by Visit PA and Deputy Secretary of Tourism Ann Ryan, we have really worked on a great program that is allowing for that to come to fruition, which is awesome. And I think that that's going to be such a neat like way for people who maybe can't get to Philadelphia to experience the World Cup in such a cool way. I mean, this is a once in a generation sporting event. We didn't host in '94, right? Like we didn't have that experience. So this is that experience, and that's the coolest part.
I mean, we talk about it. This has been a theme. We've been doing this for over a year, which is the countdown to the birthday of this country, 250 years, our city's role in this country. So we're so excited.
Absolutely.
And we have a big kickoff Monday.
I hear.
At the Flyers, huh?
That's right. We are kicking off. So we're actually, thank you to Chairman Dan Hilferty, our chairman as well, Philadelphia Soccer 2026, our co-chair with Michelle Singer. The Flyers are hosting a FIFA World Cup Philadelphia Soccer 2026 night. I don't think we could have ever hoped for a better moment in the Flyers season for this to happen, but we are here for it. And we're really obviously super excited about promoting the World Cup and getting everybody really excited about what's happening in the summer, but really excited about what's happening down at Xfinity Mobile Arena with our Philadelphia Flyers.
So this is great. So we had a meeting. So first of all, we're excited here on Monday. We're going to begin a new third-hour separate show, and it's going to be at 11 a.m. to noon every day, where it celebrates Philadelphia, right? And it's basically a look at us and a celebration of us that VG and I are going to do, and Julia is going to do, and of course, you guys are a huge part of it because you wanted to build this extra content piece to cover the World Cup,
Absolutely.
to cover this whole thing. We're so excited. So Meg and I had a meeting. How long ago was that? Maybe about a month ago.
Yeah.
Right?
That, yeah.
So we're at Chickies and Pete's.
Where
So
all
let's go to-
meetings should happen, right? Like,
yeah,
right?
of course.
Like, all meetings should be at Chickies
Right.
and Pete's.
So we're at Chickies and Pete's, and the Flyers were playing that night. Do you remember that dude?
He was, I remember it vividly. That one guy was so angry, right?
And the Flyers jersey on, right?
Yeah.
And so Meg and I are in one of the booths. We're doing our thing. And a guy goes, yo, cars. Like, one of those deals. Yo, cars. Flyers. Yeah. Like one of those things.
It's like, sir, like,
Sir.
sir, we do not know you. I know you think you know him, but like, we do not know each other.
So,
Like, very gladiator style, too.
yeah, it was like,
Oh, yeah, dramatic.
Yeah, very dramatic.
yes.
So dramatic.
So what do? I try to talk them off the ledge.
Yeah. Oh, you got to give them the time. They're really going to start gelling. Give
Yeah.
them a little bit of January. Everything was January. It was like, dude, it's March. Like, let's like, we're just back from the break. They were looking better. Things seemed to be falling into place. There was a little bit of energy. And now, by the way, like, first off, like, this is where I get so, I love Philadelphia, but this is what drives me nuts about us. Right? Like, I've read 3 articles about who is allowed to be on the bandwagon for this team now. And I'm like, no, we're all on the wagon. Everybody on the wagon. Like, there's no, like, like, it's not like, no, like, sorry, like, oh, no, like, I was here for the world. Like, okay, great. Congratulations.
Right.
Like, I sat through a lot of Phillies things. I didn't tell people who didn't want, like, when Bedlam at the bank happened, I was like, so sorry, you weren't here for 2017. That's correct. Right? Like, I mean, like, come on.
For the record, FIFA doesn't care. I don't watch Premier League soccer. I'm welcoming
Everybody's on
fans,
board.
though, right?
Bandwagon. Let's go.
I'm
Right?
in.
Like,
Yes.
there is, like, we are all welcome
Yes.
on this.
You didn't see Ben Revere play center field.
Right. I'm like, I did, sir. And again, that's what I would have said to him. I did. And I still kept my tickets and I still root for the Phillies. And I take the wave. You got to take the waves. And this is an exciting wave that the Flyers on. It's amazing.
Awesome. Like, there is something, first of all, the rite of passage for the spring and the fact that there's excitement and they're, they finished the job. They're in the playoffs.
Great win last night.
Right? Like a huge win, the whole thing. But the fact that they're in the play, they're getting the
Control
playoffs,
their own destiny.
have this whole thing, having this kind of excitement is a big deal, man. It means a lot to us.
Well, absolutely. Well, one, there's nothing like NHL playoff hockey.
Yeah.
Like it is. I mean, we all love NFL and play. I mean, but there is nothing better than the NHL playoffs. Like it just ratchets up. Like it's so different, but so amazing.
I
Like,
know.
and you can even get in. I mean, it's been one of those things that like you can watch and appreciate. Like it more than another sport. Sometime I think like the rivalries, the stories that evolve, like coming out of just these, like, I mean, there's 30 for 30s that we've talked about that are
Yes.
just about like, the Red Wings versus the Avalanche.
Yes.
Like, right? Like, I mean,
Yes.
you think about these like great hockey stories, and not having the Flyers be part of that over the last several years is like painful.
Oh, my God.
Because the arena rocks
Yeah.
during an NHL playoffs. Like it rocks. And we didn't have that. And the last time they were in was COVID. So that didn't happen. So it's been a while for people. And I feel like what happened on Easter Sunday, right? I mean, the Martone goal.
Oh,
Man, that was amazing. But I mean, just that kind of energy in the building, like that's, I mean, and I think that's the thing, once you get that taste, I mean,
Yes.
if you're a player, I can imagine like, that's what you're striving for.
Right.
Every game at home. Like you want it to feel that way. So if you haven't bought tickets for Monday night's game against the Hurricanes, come out, celebrate the World Cup, root on the Flyers. Let's do it. Let's make that a sellout. Let's get them, be excited for it all.
I know, man.
Yeah.
Being in there, being in that building. Oh my
Nothing
God.
like it. Nothing like it.
Especially what's going on now. The youthful energy, the whole thing. And, you're close, you work close with Dan, and the guy is terrific. Like he's a Philadelphia guy through and through from here. And then, how like Jonesy and Talk and Danny
Absolutely.
and those guys.
Well, and I think Danny should be given, I mean, credit to Danny for, not unloading Ristolainen at the deadline.
Yes.
And for
And look at the
seeing-
role he's
and
playing.
seeing how it's
Yes.
it's a gel.
Everybody was upset why you didn't trade him.
Right? And I mean, like, he was judicious. that there was a skill to that.
He's like, I'm not giving them away.
Right. And I think that and understanding the value of somebody in that locker room and how they're coming together. I think that's all. I think that, there's a lot of credit to go around, right? And I think, and a lot of credit to Talk on how he's coached. And I think also
Say that again.
a lot of credit to Talk on how he coached. And I think figuring out the balance, right, of him being an old school guy and kind of a new school world. And I think that this team, whatever they've got, whatever they're playing with house, if they get into the playoffs, it's house money.
Well, you know what's funny? Yeah, I didn't want to go there with Boucher because, obviously the expectations are completely different, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, Boucher's like apples and oranges, but like, what do you think? Get hot. He's like, it's actually not as different than it was in 2010. What is happening now?
It reminds you a lot of
Pittsburgh, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be great when they play the Penguins.
Look, I mean, we need a cross-state rivalry, right? Like, we're doing all this, like, the Pennsylvania, we're all together, and then we're going to have this, like, then we're going to have, like, Pittsburgh. And
Beat it, Yinzers.
Oh, Lord. I say nothing.
I know.
Nothing.
I know, you gotta be quiet. But it's so good. And
Of course, I'm rooting for the Flyers, obviously.
Of course you
Of course.
hello.
Hello.
The idea that, which is like awesome, the Eagles get to breathe. Like, we don't need, I can't do Jalen elite, not elite.
Oh,
I can't do it.
AJ Brown.
I can't do AJ.
AJ's still on the team, correct?
Right.
I haven't missed that? Okay, good.
Still here.
Check.
I don't know. We'll check with Diana Rossini.
Oh.
And see what she says, right?
Wow.
I mean,
Vrabel stray. Hello. My goodness.
I mean, like, we're not just, we love the Eagles.
Yes.
You love the Eagles.
Love them.
We on that chain. We're talking about them incessantly. But we're not, as much as I love football, I love that sport. We're not just football, we're sports.
We are sports.
All right.
And we are 5 for 5.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, look,
When I created 4 for 4,
yes.
I authored it. When I created it,
Yep.
it was pre-union.
It was pre-union, right? You have the union, right? So like they add to the 5th. But I mean, we also, and I've had talking to, I've had a couple conversations, and we've talked about this too with Mike Sielski about like the college set too.
Yes.
Like, right? Like
Yes.
we can't, like the fact that the Ivy League is coming back to the Flush. I read that in the paper, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's great. Like, yes, that's right. As it should be.
Yes.
Right? Like in the cathedral of
Yes.
basketball. Like when I see that the Catholic League and the public league still play at the Palestra, I'm like, the world is righted itself.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
How about that event? Like
my
we talk about with Danny.
Right.
We need to do a whole documentary about it.
Oh my God.
Mean,
It's an amazing.
ridiculous. Like they're getting people, 10,000 people are going there.
Easily. And
Yeah.
it's great theater.
You're squeezing them in.
Yeah, it's an amazing.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and that's Philadelphia.
All right, Phillies. I got to cover the Phillies.
All right.
What do you feel?
No panic yet. It's 12 games in. It's a 162 game season. So like, when we were at like game 4 and there were people like, I'm going to the bridge.
Ripping Bryce.
Like, dear God. It's like everybody just needs you. You.
Get out of here. Love Bryce.
Look, I think right now it's a long season. Let's see. They we're just into April. Let's give it a little time, get a little warmed up. Their best pitcher is in Lehigh Valley right now, rehabbing. I wouldn't rush Wheeler back right now. I don't think that's necessary. I think Painter is going to be up and down. He's a rookie, right? Like I think he's going to have gems like he did in his first game. I think he's going to struggle in other games. Sanchez is not going to be perfect, i.e., last night, right? But he's going to be good, right? Taiwan Walker, that might be a challenge.
Right.
But I think the biggest concern that I would have is just overall age of the team, right? That's your biggest challenge. This is like, right? How do they get younger? And how do
you know what's funny? I'm not as worried about that. My biggest concern, and this is what Dombrowski has to do, is they're too lefty dominant. They fall prey to left-handers.
100%.
This is 3 years in a row.
Totally.
You saw it last night against Robbie Ray, who's a quality lefty, right?
Yep.
You got to get a right-handed stick.
Yeah.
That's legitimate. That's not Otto Kemp.
Right. I know. And I always, looking at the outfield right now, I mean, I think it's, I think it's remains to be seen, right? Whether maybe Bader should have come back right? Like that.
He's
That's
off
the
to a
one.
slow start.
Right, he's off to a slow
yeah.
start. But again, there's a lot of people off to a slow start.
You gotta get him
Right
right at bat.
I think it was Dave Murphy wrote the column like about like all the bats, and he was like, "This is the Dodgers," like right. And it's like important. Like sometimes we in Philadelphia, and I will credit my former boss Kate Shields with this line. Like sometimes we breathe our own exhaust. Like we don't look. Like, I use that line all the time because it's like,
That's
great.
I like that.
Breathe our own exhaust, and like right, and it's like we're just taking it in, and instead of like going like, geez, what else is happening around this league? It's like nothing is happening. Everyone else is. I look at the standings. I'm like, oh, I thought everybody was undefeated,
right?
Except us. I thought the Dodgers had a perfect. Like it's like like sometimes we just kind of get in our own way. So like there's it's just
you're right on.
But that's like a Philly thing. That's part of our charm.
Yep.
Right. It's part of our charm, but it's also part of what is the struggle. Is that like sometimes we overreact a little bit, to like game 4 of a 162 game season. But yeah, I think it remains to be seen. I have confidence. I think as the weather gets warmer, they heat up.
Yes.
Right? And that'll be a good thing.
All right. VG, hit Meg with a nug.
All right. We'll do a nug. We're going to go to the fashion one, Julia. Supposed to be last since we have a fashionable person with us, which rarely happens.
Oh, my.
This is an outfit, $9,900. It's a shipping box outfit by the House of Balenciaga Fashion. I don't know it.
Balenciaga.
There you go. There you go. So this is actual cardboard.
On Robert Pattinson? Is that
him?
from
I don't know.
Twilight? Is that who's wearing it?
Would you spend 10
G's on a shirt cardboard box combo?
Simply put, no. No, I would not. And while I appreciate the UPS look, and it is UPS has done a great job on its uniform. Everybody knows the brand. Great job with Brown.
Yeah.
And the brand. I don't think I would go for that. And I think it says is it fragile?
Yes,
I'm looking at this from very far away.
Fragile all over.
So, yes.
Actually,
so the answer to that is
it's French.
Fragile.
Yeah.
Fragile.
What is the name of this fashion house?
Yeah, Balenciaga.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Nice.
great perfume, not a great outfit.
Let's do one more.
Yeah.
The Blue Jays yesterday celebrated. They came into the year in 1977, so they did hot dogs for 77 cents. By the 7th inning, they had sold 100,204 hot dogs.
Oh my God!
I did not see a final tally on it.
Holy Lord!
But through 7 innings,
that's
100,000
a lot of dogs, man.
A lot of hot
Have we ever done the count of when we used to do right when
dollar
dog?
Yeah, there was
I don't know if they've ever.
That's what I would have to compare it to.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I mean, if Dollar Dog Night didn't break 100,000, that's a number.
Yeah,
now
and they looked large.
Yeah, like
they did.
They looked very. I mean, like Dollar Dog. Like the whole thing is like
they give you
more. You need more of them. Like I could have
junior
more.
dogs.
Right. They are junior dogs.
Exactly. That I don't know if that's just like a rendering of like a hot dog or if that's actual.
No, that's the real
design.
picture. Yeah.
That was the real dog.
Right.
Wow. All right, let's end this thing with a little back in the day, courtesy of Truemark Financial Credit Union, Kelly Body CEO, and we're gonna debut as sometime after the World Cup, the Meg and Kelly Show.
Yeah.
Which is the true great 4 for 4 people.
All right. Can't wait.
That's gonna be
That'll be a hell of a show.
That's a great podcast.
Yeah.
Let's go back in the day.
We're going back. We're going back. We're going back. Back in the day with Truemark. Oh, yeah.
All right, I don't know the year. This is one of my favorite baseball pranks of all time. John Vukovic, Roger McDowell gives him the hot foot.
The hot foot?
Yeah. Does the hot foot ever get old in baseball?
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, the hot foot was Rogers.
That is great. That is good.
That's a good one.
Yeah, all time.
That's a good back in the day.
I was gonna say, did you guys do back in the day did you do the vet fight, the 700 level?
Let's go back in the day.
That was a great piece, Alice Coffey with the Empire.
I remember that. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that fondly.
All right, plenty of get ready because you're going to be on a lot.
Yep.
All right.
Be ready.
Meg, we love you.
Great to see you guys. Thanks
great
for
job,
having me.
Jules.
Julia.
Everybody have a great day. Go Flyers.
We all silly like the mayor.